over it. So the possibilities are limitless. So I will just take on capability now. So I will start with Professor UK, BTI.
Thank you. As you mentioned, Professor, I feel like I'm in the classroom really. I can see all the first degrees behind and the PhDs in the front. Welcome. Yeah, actually, I quite agree with the Google presentation up to 99.1%. The 0.1%, that's why I'm here. The 99%, I'll just give you an example. I've been teaching software engineering at C++ and MATLAB. I taught in Alaska, University of Fairbanks for some time. I taught in this university, University of Alaska in South Africa. I also taught in the University of Port Harcourt, where I used software engineering for design project. I think it was an entrepreneurial course. At the same time, I'm analyzing why I agree with you, 99%. Also, I have a young boy, a young son, who's first degree reading electrical and information engineering. I've been teaching these softwares before this guy was born. But someday I called this guy, my computer, the keyboard would work. This guy comes to me and says, Daddy, this computer, you don't put it off. You leave it on all the time. It's not updating. So I switched it on, I let shut it down, and the whole thing was updating. My keyboard was working. So why did I say this? It's a fast-moving technology, and can't really wait for anyone. So I agree with you completely. The only aspect I wouldn't agree, but we agree at the end of the day, is really from education capacity building. So when I got to PTI, I saw that there's so many facilities, we need to visit them. So many facilities, a lot can be digitized. So we are now engaging digitizing PTI. So digitalizing PTI, apart from these programs and the courses that we will do, like I mentioned, in Alaska, when I teach, students just come with a phone. We don't issue papers anymore. The phone, the notes are there, everything is there. We ask questions, we discuss, and then they go. At one point, I set exams, and they can write exams from their hostel, from their room. Set the time, use your student number, address the thing, it's time. When it's time, close this up. You fail, you fail. Simple. So, that's how things are going. So I agree with you 100%. Get it to 100%. Okay. So, now in BTI, we're digitalizing everything, not only the programs and the courses and the equipment, but also getting the students digitalized and the staff also digitalized. How are we achieving this? So we are developing, we call it digital PTI. If you type, I'm sure it's already there in Google search. Type DPTI, DIPTI, you see a lot of stuff. So what we try to do there is we are coming up with what we call it really digital PTI hub to serve the whole of Africa. We'll be doing certification. At the end, we'll be 3 layers of training. So we'll be interwoven between our normal HND and PhD program with the skills development or skills training. Where we start with level 1, where you have the essentials, where we teach Java, C#, and so on and so forth. You can remember the essentials. That will take you about 5 months. Qualify from there, you go to the skills redevelopment with project based. Project based, we hope to have Google, hope to have IBM, hope to have all of these people where we have live projects which the students will work on for another 7 months. And when they graduate from there, they meet whoever at the 3rd level, where that is during the certification level, where we have Cisco qualification, certification, Google certification, we will not discuss with them yet, IBM, and so on and so forth. So at that point, at each of these stages, anybody can really go out and come back, go work, come back, go work, come back. You are your own, really. So that is the structure we have. Are you cutting my time? Okay. So really, just to add this to the discussion, why I agree with the Google and all other presentations.
Thank you very much, Prof. So I'm already hearing things of partnership, collaboration. So that's one of the things we're trying to drive. How can the oil industry, because the oil industry after the oil price round is going standard. Previously, oil industry would always go basic, we make everything ourselves. But to be competitive now, we need to go for standard industry solution. That will involve partnering with service providers across the utility and other services. So we'll quickly take Angela, remarks from Angela.
Good afternoon, everyone. I agree with what everybody has said here today, and especially, of course, with the Google slides. But I just wanted to take us back to the fact that in Nigeria and as Africans, unfortunately, we have missed the first revolution, which is agricultural revolution. We've missed the second one, which is industrial revolution. There is another revolution now, which is the technological revolution. And we are not about to miss it. As Africans, we cannot afford to miss it, because if we miss it, then we'll be left behind. And so why did Andela come to an existence? The reason is because Andela feels like there is brilliance is evenly distributed. So that means a software developer who is somewhere in Asaba and has been doing home study with the system can compete with somebody in San Francisco. And this is the only thing that is not evenly distributed is opportunity. And the opportunity is what Andela is here to now bridge, to help bridge the gap. And so what we've done is we have software developers who are talented across Africa, in Nairobi, in Nigeria, in Uganda, in Kampala, in Kigali, who are passionate. How then do they have opportunities to work with people across the world so that we're able to compete on the same global stage, and then eventually they then come back to their different countries to now say, I am ready to impact and make the change. That is why Andela exists. And so we love Africa. We're an African an African company, because we feel like Africans can also stand in the same pedestal with other people across the world. And so that means our software developers, we would one day, in less than 10 years, have the next Mark Zuckerbergs, have the next Elon Musk, etc. And so that means collaboration is very key. And we've been partnering with Google to ensure that Africans are trained across the world. And the last thing I would like to say is everybody here should be passionate about being part of the next change. And this revolution, this technological revolution, we cannot afford to miss it. We need to collaborate and come together as a team to ensure that we build the next technological leaders who will be able to bring Uber from Nigeria to the world.
Thank you very much. So hopefully we'll have the next sales for the city. And talking about African talent, passion for Africa, thank God, I hope you're taking notes. So I would like to hear some of your thoughts about how Andela can help, local startups even more. And just to kind of cycle back a bit as to where this is going. So, Mr. Alessandro, I hope you're taking notes, because I'm going to come to you after everything we've heard. No, not just yet. I'm going to come to you after everything we've heard. So what does that mean for the oil dollar? Yeah? Okay, so we'll quickly take Mind the Gap, Mr. Olosunde.
So I think it's a good place to bring in the heard from everybody. And I think the critical thing here is, making reference to what Schneider and Google said, is that some 15 years ago, people working in the oil and gas space, the skills and the competencies that get jobs in those places, they look at it like an exclusive, class of its own. You get a job in the Shell or the Chevron, it's like, wow, I just broke it. Why? Because the skills are so private. They have access to all this information. It's just something that you have to do. Technically, you can say when the World Bank some 7 years ago said that the Nigerian youth are not employable, they were basically looking at getting a job in Shell, in the banks, and realizing that skills are not because universities are not producing. But But what has happened since we start talking about digital skill? It's that there's a whole lot of democratization of skill. Now people can get the kind of education, the kind of knowledge across platforms all over the world. So my response basically to this the presentation is that we are entering into a phase right now where there's going to be a deluge of available manpower to service this sector. And I spoke to some of the students yesterday. Don't get too caught. The fact that right now you just have this first class, all those stuff. Look, there are some guys who don't have opportunity of going to PTI, who are doing their own personal degrees on their laptops, and they are getting current skills. I mean, you're talking about Nigerian curriculum being obsolete. Forget, they're not waiting for Nigerian curriculum. These guys are getting their certificate. They're actually getting online education. Bottom line is that we are at a time right now when education has been fully democratized. And what we need to do as this sector is to join the journey. One of the things Google has presented is a platform where, look, if you have content that you're going to need in the next 5 years in this sector, can we aggregate this content? If you have skills that this sector is going to need that were perceived in the next 10 years, can we begin to create this content not for the classroom anymore? Let's create it and make it as an available content online, and the young people are going to get it. And the level of education that even digitalization is activating right now is a massive learning. The education is going to be so forced on people right now that they will have the capacity to capture all this information. So my take is this. What Schneider said, what Ruby said, I think one of the things that we should take out of this session is how do we provide the skill that this sector is going to need in the next 5 years? How do we digitize this content? Google is here. They talk about collaboration. How do we ensure we can have, I think we have about 106 courses right now on the Google Digital Skills platform. And I've been privileged, working with Google to train over 500,000 Nigerian youth across the country. And anytime you hear our vice president talks about what this government is doing, he's always making reference to the fact that, look, we are taking the giant leap of actually ensuring that education is available for every Nigerian. So that some guy in Wharton, okay, it's not Wharton anymore, in what's the Borno State, that you think, oh, it's a far distance place, nothing is happening. I tell you, a lot of things happening as kids can be fully democratized. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olosunde. So just before I go on to the next panelist, I just wanted to call our attention to the screen. So we've got a few questions on the screen. There's a tool called Mentimeter. So as the panelists are speaking, please feel free to enter your responses to the questions. The idea is to just gauge our awareness of digitalization, where we are, so that we each individually know what we need to do to take the next steps. Having heard about capability, about improving service delivery, it's good to also understand, what investment will be required to actually bring this about. Can we do it locally, or do we need foreign funds? What is the environment ready? So I'll call on Mr. Shetima Burma to give us a few remarks.
Thank you. Trends and development. Before then, let me briefly say about NIPC, Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, federal government agency established with NIPC at 1995 to encourage, coordinate, promote, and facilitate both domestic and foreign direct investment. Our government united this act to advise her on policy matters designed to promote industrializations and, of course, investment climate. Now, what are the government policies toward ICT? In line with its economic recovery and growth plan, especially the strategy to diversify the economy by making digitalization a standard, enable and for economic diversification, the federal government will be actively supporting technology leaders to ensure greater digital access in Nigeria and around the world. With the nation's plan and quest becoming a top data-driven economy, knowledge base. Now, toward realizing this, Government established digital bridge in 2004 so as to bridge the gap between the knowledge deficiency. This institution was scheduled with the responsibility of offering postgraduate and academic programs, e-learning, professional courses, etc. And another effort of government towards the digitalization of the economy is the establishment of ICT cluster. Government at every level, both federal, state, and in some instances even local governments, are busy establishing ICT cluster in order to establish and provide the enabling environment for the ICT to flourish. And this shows that ICT is in the pioneer list, meaning you can apply for pioneer status and enjoy holidays between 3 to 5 years, and in some instances even to negotiate with other institutions to get a more incentive that would be the of the particular institutions. Now, on our part as NIPC in attracting digital ICT-based investment, recently our executive secretary was in the influence of the vice president, where they visited Silicon Valley and they promised to support the effort of Google on next billion user plans to increase access to digital technology in Nigeria and worldwide. Now, other collaborative projects that the Vice President has discussed with the Google include the Launchpad, Google Launchpad, a accelerator program in Africa, and policy formulation in line with ERGP. Now, the visit was indeed a great opportunity for NIPC, where we have promoted the investment opportunities in the country and sells the idea of incentive and other issues that will attract investment. Now, the emerging trend is to know how to scale workforce and move away from business-based outsourcing to knowledge-based outsourcing. Data through digitalization is the new hope for future economic transformation. That's the nation's stand. NIPC on its own has recently launched online investor guide. That is iGuide, which is put together by NIPC with support of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. The iGuide is an internet-based information brochure that clearly enumerates step-by-step processes and procedures for investment in Nigeria. We have also, among other digitalized processes on STEAM, include e-business facilitation, NIPC intelligent newspapers, digitalization of one-stop investment center. The one-stop investment center is a sort of window that was established by federal government. We brought in about 27 federal establishments that has investment-related services under one roof and provide their services in the most transparent, effective, and efficient manner, devoid of bureaucratic bottleneck. So rather than going to all these individual institutions looking for approval, license, and permit, come to NIPC to get all of them in the name of God. Now, our policy advocacy on that is to institutionalize digitalization in the public and private sector, develop a clear-cut citizen-friendly digital technology like bus and train tickets, banking call, traffic, digital education, digital health, as said by my colleagues here, and this will hasten and adapt the adoption of digital technology in everyday activities. We discussed in the course of our presentation. Since time is not available. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm here about ICT clusters. As I admit, I'm only hearing this for the first time. The iGuide. So it's good to hear that the government is actually also stepping up, because like I was discussing with the colleague, we can bridge all the gaps. You know, if the guys approving the policy are still using paper, we're not going to go anywhere. So mind the gap, Google, Angela, need to work on seriously. Okay. All right. So I think I will bring it to Mr. Alessandro. So you've heard far and wide supply chain capability. You are the word of that. So.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. I think I should start from the initial question. Where are the money? So, I want to make an example because things must be simple. When we talk about digitalization, we talk about artificial intelligence, algorithms, what is this, and how can this happen? Is this a real important thing that all the general manager MD must be concerned about, or it is just a plan? Let me tell you. I want to make you an everyday life example. We are in Lagos, no? We have a little problem with traffic. So, do you think you can build a road with an app? No? I think yes. If, I mean, you have this app in your phone, use Maps app, Google Map, Apple, whatever. When you want to go from one place to another, this app incorporates the information from all the drivers and tells you which is the best road from one place to another. And in this way, you do two things. You use more efficiently the road network existing. So maybe you don't need to build one road. And even if you need to, you will build the right road. You will not build a road it's useless because it finished in a small roundabout and then there is still a lot of traffic. So you understand, I mean, this is everyday life example. You want to solve the problem of traffic in Lagos. Start to use some kind of app and drive with that one. Maybe you don't do the usual, your usual path, but you reach there faster and the overall traffic will be reduced. And then somebody that has to plan for roads will be, I mean, will know where still the problem is and will build another. So in all business is the same. It's all about the bottlenecking. The bottleneck traffic, the bottleneck oil production. So this is why I think this revolution, if we are able to really bring and change the oil industry a lot. I work for Eni, that is a worldwide energy company, and now I am the general manager of Nigerian Agricold company that is a big presence here in Nigeria. But I'm here since 4 months. In my previous job, I was in headquarters dealing with technologies. So I was vice president for reservoir innovative technologies. So we did a lot of things with an HPC4, which is our supercomputer. It's in the top 10 of the, not industry, top 10 worldwide of all the supercomputers. So why we invest so much in supercomputer? Because it's extremely useful in creating opportunities, in allowing the industry to see the value. You can see the value in exploration, because if you interpret the seismic in a better way, you can unlock some new prospects. You can see the value in reservoir simulation. With this supercomputer, we did 100,000 simulation of a 5 million cell reservoir model in just 15 hours. So you can see how you can understand the uncertainty and manage and drive your choice in this way. And also operations can be really impacted by digital future. There is something we try to do here in Nigeria that I believe it's really a lot. One thing is, we have a lot of real-time production monitoring apps for unsafe act and safe conditions. We want to do a project that is called Eagle Eye, like the eagle in your flag, because it's a matter about looking at things that happen in a distant place. So our footprint of operation is very wide. So we need to see, the people in the grid floor, what they are doing. We need to see, to make HSC inspection everywhere in our site in a much more efficient way. So what we are thinking, and we are implementing already, is just, to enable our supervisor to have a camera and an earpiece and a microphone, and to be able to make a video conference with people in our digital center, digital operations center, so that I don't need to go to one site every day. I can supervise 10 sites in a single day. If there is a critical drilling operation, I will look at it with the best person that I have. If there is a production issue, we can discuss putting our eyes on the thing. Because it's not only about data. You need to see, and see means also put your eyes on the problem to solve the matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Santos. I think that was a good summary of how all of this feeds back to the oil and gas industry. Because what I tell people from when I discuss is, the oil and gas industry has a lot of dollars, right? Got a lot of money to spend. But because of the operating environment, you tend to find that the industry is almost an economy to itself. It has to build some roads, supply food, medicine. Imagine if if they upload all of that, to all these other service providers. First, it makes it leaner, more competitive, but then also opens up opportunities for all the other service providers. So I'll come back to Mrs. Kalola. You heard you started this off, so you heard other panelists, so you have a few remarks.
So for me, it's China Electric discussion and listening to everybody speak. I made some notes and I heard old technology, disruption, disruption in the way we do business and our activities, and it feels like technology is redefining and reshaping our lives and at the same time enriching our lives. Um, and digitalization and transparency and integration of connectivity. A whole lot of things have really been spoken about here today. But one thing that resonates with me is the fact that what the Angela said, that we missed the agricultural revolution